Without further ado, dude, I love the conversation they had today, too. By the way, I couldn't believe what I was witnessing. John was actually fucking entertaining it. And he was not shutting it down. Because he knows the GM's behavior. Remember, you're not dealing with sanity in Cleveland. That owner is mental. Without further ado, we bring in our friend, Big Z, Zander Krause. And here we are, brother. How you doing?
What is up, Sills? A happy Football Friday to you. Even on a bye week, it's the greatest day in football, Big Sills. I freaking love it, my friend.
Okay, 24 hours after the fact, my little soliloquy that I went on about, hey, dude, it's the Browns.
By the way, go ahead.
You're acting like the Browns, not you. Everyone's acting like the fucking Browns have made right decisions.
Yeah,
they
right.
dumped Baker Mayfield. They gave a guy a guaranteed contract, fully guaranteed, and the guy's been a stiff. We're not talking about an organization, Zander, that does the right things.
Yeah, or a general manager for that matter. The guy's living on his reputation from working with Howie Roseman. What the hell has he done? This is the same guy who just took a quarterback third round and fifth round, and he's the only quarterbacks left on his roster. He had 5 of them. Andrew Berry is not a good general manager because he worked for Howie Roseman once upon a time. That doesn't make you a good general manager at all. By the way, you missed a good part of the show this morning. I know me and John had a nice conversation. I was erupting on Zander time after John left the show. I was going back on Lil TJ. I'm calling him. Twiz is now TJ. What up, TJ? So I was roasting people. This is a no-brainer.
No-brainer.
A no-brainer.
No-brainer.
You're talking about
no-brainer for both.
I think for both, too, because I'm still waiting for someone to properly explain to me why this doesn't make sense for the Browns. Now, the one thing that did make some sense that Sig Lord said this morning, which was very good, is Andrew Berry holding on to Myles Garrett for personal reasons because he knows he's not going to be able to make the 7 picks anyway because he's getting his ass fired. So if you're a general manager in his shoes, do you give up Myles Garrett for picks that come down the road where you probably aren't even taking those anyway? Or do you keep the player that's going to the Hall of Fame, even if you suck? That makes sense from Andrew Berry's perspective of, I don't know, he doesn't know if he's going to be there.
Well, let me play the other side of that. Say I do get fired at the end of the year because the team right now blows out loud and because of the decisions that have been made at quarterback. Don't you walk into your next prospective job and you're talking to an owner going like this? Most people, when they get fired, leave the cupboard bare. I left the cupboard stacked full for the next guy, and I gave them the ability to make sure that they're in a great place cap-wise. I made sure that they're in a great place drafting-wise. That program is set up for success for the next 3 years. Or do you want to be this? I held on to Myles Garrett, and I sat there with Myles Garrett and did dick with the guy, and the thing has nowhere to go right now. And the only thing we did was move that pick for Jacksonville, and we got another pick last year. You're not getting another GM job. But at the end of the day, Zander, if I'm setting up the next guy, I don't know that's a bad thing. Because remember, you're dealing with shitty owners. Look at a guy in Miami. Look at Haslam. Look at Woody. Not every NFL team is fair because do you not agree? Jeffrey Lurie's the reason Howie Roseman is Howie Roseman. You think Howie Roseman would be Howie Roseman with Jimmy Haslam? I don't.
No, he wouldn't. He wouldn't. But Jimmy, does spend money. And part of it is, just the willingness to spend money is where the general manager could take it in a better direction. And that's where I think he wouldn't do that.
He will spend money, but he doesn't hire quality general manager.
He doesn't do it. They don't make the right decisions. They make rash, bad decisions. They've continuously made bad decisions. They have 2 fucking seasons above 500 in Myles Garrett's tenure. Somebody said to me this morning, well, he's like Howie. He's not going to get rid of a trench player. I'm like, oh, yeah, because that philosophy's taken him pretty far, right? That philosophy's working for the Browns. They're 2-6. They suck again. And by the way, I think they lied to Myles Garrett in the offseason when he signed the contract. I think they told him they were going to get him a quarterback. They ended up giving him Dylan Gabriel. Guy sucks. Now Myles Garrett's slamming his helmet on the sideline because he's like, I'm delivering 5 sacks and we're still getting blown out because Dylan Gabriel blows.
Let me make the point to you about Andrew Berry. So you're telling me you fired John Dorsey, and John Dorsey's the guy who drafted Patrick Mahomes and drafted Baker Mayfield. And Baker Mayfield's now a top 5 quarterback, and Mahomes is a generational player.
That's all for Baker.
Okay.
No,
how about this?
He's a top 10 quarterback. He's
okay.
Yeah.
He's a top 10 quarterback, and the other guy's a generational pick. You fired that guy and put that guy in the building? Remember who drafted Myles Garrett? John Dorsey.
Dude, they make all bad decisions. And by the way, you know the other thing here too? And I get it. I think we all know that the big problem here is not really the Eagles. It's more will the Browns do it. But why are some people so infatuated by draft pick? We're the second youngest team in pro football right now. We have the second fewest players above 29 in the National Football League. We are a young roster stacked with young talent. We do not need to save on to every draft pick like it's our last dying breath. We drafted good. That's what the last 4 years were for. We have a 7th rounder in Moro Ajomo right now dominating the trenches. I mean, come on, man. It's time to go and get an established player to pair. Think about this, Sills. Leave offense out of it for a second. Let's just hone in on the defense. If you can make a trade for Myles Garrett and you don't give up these players, don't give up Jalen Carter, obviously. Don't give up Jordan Davis. Don't give up Zach Bond. Don't give up Cooper DeJean, and don't give up Quinyon Mitchell. Give up any of the other. Give up Ajoma. Give up any of the other people. It could be Nolan. It could be Jalen. Now you have Jordan Davis, Jalen Carter, and Myles Garrett on your defensive line. You have Zach Bond and/or Nakobe Dean or Jihad Campbell as your linebackers, and you have Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean as 2 corners. Dude, that's the best defense we'll ever have. That would be better than last year's defense.
That would rival the talent of Gang Green.
I think it'd be better than Gang Green.
Do you think that Howie's had more success in the 2nd round or 1st round?
Off the top of my head, I'd probably say 2nd round, but I can think of some 1st round picks that he's done very well at. I mean, he's gotten better at 1st round picks, I think, progressively as his career has gone on. And you're looking at better picks recently.
Never put the value there too, though, with money.
Yeah, I mean, if you look, though, like what's the core of our team right now? Smitty, 1st round pick. Jalen Carter, 1st round pick. Nolan Smith, not really a core player, at least not yet. 1st round pick. Jordan Davis, potentially a core player, 1st round pick. Quinyon Mitchell, core player, 1st round pick. Cooper DeJean's a 2nd round pick. Tyler Steen's a 2nd round pick. Cam Jurgens, 2nd round pick. Jalen Hurts, 2nd round pick. Yeah, they're both pretty good, to be honest, but probably more success in the 2nd.
Okay, so my point is, right, those 1st round picks, bro. Zander, I'm sure you've dabbled in the stock market, right?
Oh yeah,
it's a gamble, right?
Stocks. If I ever get any loose change after paying Sills his bonuses.
Hey.
I don't have much loose change for the stock market right now, but I look at it, I dabble a little.
Okay, do you agree? You do all the studying you want. You can do all the research you want.
Right.
You don't know what that stock's going to go up 10-fold, 5-fold, what have you, right? You have no idea. Mm-hmm. You get an established superstar player like Myles Garrett, there ain't no question in that stock. You got to buy high, right?
Yeah.
You buy high on that.
Draft picks are lottos, dude. That's what they are.
That's right.
They're lottos. They're lotto tickets. You win some and you lose some, and sometimes you win bigger than other times. Myles Garrett is a no-brainer. I said this morning, and I honestly mean this, and people will say you're crazy. They're not going to have to do this, so it's a pie in the sky comment. It doesn't even matter. I would be willing to go to 4 first. And the only reason I say that is because I want people to understand what I believe the Eagles should be willing to give up for this player. This is a player that you should be willing to make. You have to make the Browns say, I have to take the deal.
Yeah.
Because we are in the position to give that much up. And Keith, you're not going to have to actually give up 4. It's more of showing we have to be willing to go that in on it to bring back this player, because I believe the next 3-year window, I think you could win. You could do what the Chiefs did. You could win 3 Super Bowls in the next 3-4 years.
I think if you brought Myles Garrett here, you'd probably lose 7 games in 3 years.
Yeah, that sounds right. I mean, assuming health, obviously. Health.
Total.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, dude, this team would be insane. I mean, this team would be nuts.
And you have 10 picks next year?
I just think it makes so much sense. I mean, we don't need to. Why does everybody, we got this comment earlier. All right. It wasn't a live comment. It was after the fact. So I wasn't live when I saw it. This guy's like, why does everybody want to sell our future? I don't want to be good for 2 years. I want to be good for 10 years. We have Jalix and Nolan, and we have more picks. And I responded, I'm like, brother, find me anywhere in the history of the NFL where a Super Bowl window has stayed open for 10 years. Nowhere. It took Tom Brady an extra 10 years to rebuild the team to go back to the Super Bowl. Super Bowl windows do not stay open for 10 years. And if you can assume, hey, our Super Bowl window has been open since 22, how many more years of Super Bowl window do we have? With this roster, maybe not many. With Myles Garrett, does he add another 2 years to that?
Yes.
Can you get another 4 years of Super Bowl window now?
Yes.
You're not going to just get, hey, we got 10 years Super Bowl window because we kept all our first-round picks. Doesn't work like that. No, I'm sorry, but I'm not going to bet against history. 10-year Super Bowl windows doesn't happen. Never has happened. I mean, even the Cowboys, they won theirs in what? How many years? 5, 6 years, whatever it was?
3 and 5.
3 and 5 years. I mean, so what are we hanging on the first-round pick? If this guy's this good, you got the young defenders that go with them to pair it up with this defense, and you got all your offense paid. You're not going to have to pay Nolan probably. You're probably going to take Jalen Carter might make, what, 32? You're probably going to shed one of the offensive contracts at some point. Plus the salary cap's going to go up another $25 million every year. And by the way, Myles Garrett cap hits, have you looked at them if they traded them? They're like $1 million this year, $8 million next year, $15 million the following year. Doesn't change anything for Howie. Doesn't change anything for Howie. You're going to be able to pay Carter. You're going to be able to pay Davis. You're going to be able to pay Quinyon and Coop. And you're going to have Myles Garrett. I mean, this is a no-brainer. That's why I said 4 first, because we should make it so crazy that Jimmy Haslam walks into Andrew Berry's office and says, I don't give a shit what you're going to sell me. That's too many assets for this football team. That's what I would do. And if that's 3 1s, a 3 and Nolan, or 3 1s, a 3 and Jalix, I'm doing the deal. How
about this? I just got this. David Njoku, the tight end. Would you be interested in him? Eagles names are being thrown around with that potentially too as a potential tight end.
Who is it, Njoku?
Yeah.
I mean, I like that player. He's a little older, but
he is.
We're
not talking high picks. We're probably not talking high picks here.
5 or 6 or something.
He's a Miami kid. I know him very well.
Yeah, he's good. I like him. He's 29, I think. Yeah, he's 29. He'll be 20. He'll be 30 in the offseason. So, I mean, he doesn't fit the role of like life after Dallas Goedert because he's basically the same age and he's got the same problems. He's injury prone. I mean, he's had up and down career, but yeah, I mean, maybe. How good is he blocking? He is a big dude. I know that.
He is. He listen, when he's healthy, he's a fabulous ball player.
Yeah, I know. Fannin took his spot. That's why they're thinking about moving him. I don't know. As a tight end too here, it might not be a bad move, but I don't know. I'm a little bit more focused on the. I'm a little bit more focused.
Oh, you're shopping at Neiman Marcus right now.
I'm not shopping at. I'm done with the Temu shopping.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, you're not going to Wawa.
Yeah, I'm like kind of out on that, bro. Like I'm like done with the Temu trades. All right, like make a splash or just sit on your hands. Holy shit!
I got a question for you. Do you think that Jalen Hurts can win a Super Bowl without A.J. Brown?
I think he could, but I think he'd have to improve his game. I think he'd have to be a more consistent quarterback. I think he'd have to elevate the team more week in and week out, something he hasn't really been asked to do since the 22 season. 23 too, but the defense was so bad. I mean, I think he'd just have to be more consistent, but I think he could do it. I mean, look.
So right now, you believe he can do it?
I believe he could do it with getting more consistent. I mean, here's the thing I like about Jalen Hurts that we always were going to be able to say in Philly. And Dallas, for example, can't say. Dallas could be like the greatest regular season team, but they're always going to have in the back of their mind, like, is Dak going to perform in those big moments?
Yeah.
If you're Philly, it's like
Lamar too.
Right. If you're Philly, it's like all we really got to do, and I know you got to do more than this, I'm just talking about bare minimum, is get to the playoffs. And if we get to the playoffs, Jalen has showed, if not consistently, in those one-off moments, he can be really freaking good. So it might not look as good. You might not win as many games if you got rid of A.J. Brown. But if you get into the playoffs and talk about Myles Garrett being on this team, I mean, yeah, I think he could win a Super Bowl without AJ. I do think it would require a different version of the player, though. You know, I think he'd have to be better, flat out. I think he'd have to be more elite, more consistently, week in and week out.
Here's, you know what, and Zander, if it came off what I was saying earlier when I was talking about AJ.
It was my fault. I misread what you were saying.
What I
throw AJ in just to get the deal done. I'm like, I don't know if that.
Yeah, no. Here's where I'm going, because you and John were talking this way. Don't you think Jeffrey Lurie, first off, was double talking when he said this? Listen, I don't want to trade. And I happen to agree with you and John. They don't want to trade. Dude, the Browns don't want to trade Myles Garrett. And the Eagles don't want to trade A.J. Brown. However, didn't your owner just get through saying on a follow-up right after that, I'm going to do what's best for the Eagles?
Yeah.
Well, dude, that's double talk.
Yeah, I agree.
Because if that means moving him, that's double talk. So my point was this. Don't you think A.J. Brown goes to his agent and says this? Don't you think it's in my best interest right now to go and demand a trade to go to New England, to get hooked up with a young quarterback? It's high volume throwing. They have a 18th ranked rushing attack right now.
Oh, you're selling this too hard.
Follow me.
Yeah, that ain't a good situation for A.J. Brown over there, dude. It's
Where,
not.
New England? In New England?
Oh, New England. I thought you said Cleveland.
No. I'm saying
okay. My bad.
I'm doing this. If I go to my agent, hey, you know what? You think it's in the best interest for me to go to a young upstart team? I played for Mike Vrabel. Vrabel didn't want to get rid of me in Tennessee. They're 19th ranked or 18th ranked in rushing. They're 5th ranked in passing. They have a high volume passer. They're in a weaker AFC East. Isn't that in the best interest for me? Because would you agree with me when I tell you A.J. Brown's not getting a contract like he has right now in Philadelphia ever again?
Well, I mean, the part of that is age. I mean, 30-year-old wideouts don't get that massive contracts.
I'll tell you what. If you give me a contract that's $34 million and I'm still getting you 90 catches and I'm still getting you 1,400 yards, you're going to pay that, dude.
Yeah, I get that. My whole thing is like, with a guy like Myles Garrett, it's like you send a lot, but it feels like it's worth it for both sides. With a guy like A.J. Brown, if you're going to trade him right now, that's where bad business comes into play, because you're never going to get back what that player is worth where he is. Like, seriously, so you want a 2nd-round pick for A.J. Brown right now?
No, I saw that stupid comment.
I think Eagle fans are a little delusional about what the value is of a 28-year-old receiver making $32 million. Nobody's giving a 1 for him. I'm sorry. I don't think so. I think a 2 is about what you're going to get. And it might even go down to a 3 if you're
in Christian Gonzalez for him.
That's an interesting conversation. I mean, if you're getting Myles Garrett, no, I wouldn't do that. If you don't get Myles Garrett, that's an interesting conversation.
How about this? Q, Reed, Christian Gonzalez, Cooper, and you address your corner next April's draft. That's a pretty formidable secondary, bro.
Maybe. Look, Philly Dogs is a 3 in the summer. This guy, Philly Dogs, he's a $32 million wideout, making going to be 29 years old.
I agree with you, Zander.
It's a 3 in the summer. You might laugh. You might say, I know nothing. You might AJ's worth 2 first round. That's not
true. He's not.
Go look at the NFL, dude. Nobody's trading for wideouts like that. Nobody, especially ones making $32 million. Don't care if he's a 3-time. What's Devontae Adams 3-time All-Pro? He's probably a 5-time All-Pro, Devontae Adams. He got traded for a conditional 3, dude. Come on. You're
Zander.
Yeah.
Excellent.
That's Delulu land, which is fine.
Here. You know what? And I'm gonna give Eagle fans a reality check right now. If you wanted to trade, I'm gonna leave the quarterback out. If you wanted to trade Saquon Barkley right now with his history of knees, it'd be a tough pick to get a 1 for him. It would be tough to get a 1. Same with Derrick Henry. It would be tough to get 1s for those guys with all the miles they have on them. I mean,
this is why trading.
You're delusional if you think you're getting a 1.
This is why trading great players has always been bad business, because you never get back what it's worth for the player to be for your team. You know, again, right now, AJ Brown, this is why trading him is kind of stupid at this point, because unless you really need to shed the salary, it makes 0 sense if you're doing it for draft capital. You're going to bring back a second for AJ Brown. I mean, he's more valuable to me on the roster.
And weaken your off. Yeah, you're right.
And weaken your off. It's just like, all right, I'm not doing that. So
here, watch this. If you
put Dallas got traded when he was 30 years old, dickhead. These people, holy shit.
If you're trading Dallas Goedert, he's probably a 4, or putting him on the market. Jordan Mailata, you probably get a 1 back for him. Dickerson, you would never get a 1 because of the history of knees. Jurgens, you're not getting a 1. Steen, you're not getting the 3. You're probably getting a 4 for him. Lane, how many people believe you're going to get if you put Lane on the open market, you get a 1? No, you wouldn't. He's 35 years old.
Here's another thing to add, too, to the wide receiver talk. Colleges are spitting out wide receivers like they're nothing now. Look at how many receivers are coming up in the next draft. Jeremiah Smith, Carnell Tate, Ryan Williams. There's so many receivers in college football now because that's the game. So in order for a team to send a first-round pick for a wideout, it's probably going to be a guy that's hasn't gotten his second contract yet, or a guy like DK Metcalf. What did they trade DK Metcalf for?
I thought it was a 4.
DK Metcalf trade. Steelers received DK Metcalf in the 185th overall pick, while the Seahawks received the 52nd and 223rd. They got a second-round pick.
Okay, that's high.
And by the way, that was before he got paid. They paid him after a 5-year, $150 million contract. That was before, he got paid. AJ already got paid.
Yeah. Yep.
And by the way, another story that people aren't going to like, those numbers that AJ Brown is not happy with and that are awfully low right now come into play when you're trying to trade a player.
Absolutely.
People are going to say, wait a second, he had 1,500 2 years ago, then he had 1,000 and missed a couple games. Now he's down to 300, 400 yards this year. He's not the same player. I know you think he's the same player. I do too. But that comes into it.
No, well, it's called negotiating. They're going to use that against him. Absolutely, they're going to use that against him.
Dude, I'm so jazzed. If we got Myles Garrett, oh my gosh, I will be like M. Reyes.
What did John's take? Because I was kind of shocked that John bid on it. Now, I think he bid on it because of the behavior of Howie. Now Howie picks the phone up. Okay? You agree with me what I said? I go, look, there's probably a 5 to 10% chance the team truly wants to trade, right? Right?
EJ?
Would you not? No, for Myles Garrett. Don't you think, though, at least 60% of the league has called them about him?
Oh, yeah. But there's not – this is where I think the Eagles are in a rare spot. I know their picks are lower, but other teams aren't going to be willing to give up 3 first-round picks because their rosters aren't as built as ours. If you think about that. Like, we have one of the youngest rosters. We have a lot of talent on both sides of the football right now. And we have a lot of picks. Like most other teams, even if a team like the Patriots, they're probably like, dude, I can't give up 3 1s right now. Like, I want to get better at the edge, but we got too many holes to fill. Even got other teams like the Chiefs. Somebody brought up the Lions, the Rams this morning. They're not giving up that many picks.
No.
I don't think so. I mean, the Rams aren't going to do it. They got to get a quarterback soon. Matthew Stafford's pretty old.
Yep.
So, we're one of the rare teams right now that would be willing to give up as much draft capital as we are, even with the picks being lower. I think that's a big part of the why the Eagles are, could be at the top of this thing. And the other thing you can't leave out here, the Eagles wanted Michael Parsons too. Bad. And Myles Garrett's that level of player.
And they were in the game.
So they're whether it happens or not, the Eagles are trying to make it happen. And again, you said it. Nobody loves shooting these things down more than John McMullen. He didn't shoot this down. He said it's unlikely Cleveland will move him. Andrew Berry doesn't want to trade him. But he knows they're in the conversation.
I don't think it's Andrew. I think it's the owner. I think right now he's in the room, whatever the owner wants. I want to throw this at you here. It's funny. I had somebody ask me this earlier, and I remember I think we all made a prediction on this player here. 23 hits on the quarterback, 28 pressures, 79.5 rating. He's 9th out of 100 and almost 30 defensive tackles in the league. And he makes $1,058,000 a year. How you feeling about that Ajomo over there playing D-line for you right now?
Feeling real good about Ajomo. Feeling like my off-season prediction might actually be on point. I thought I was way off. I mean, shout out to Milton Williams, who's played really great in New England, but Moro Ajomo has really done a nice job. I mean, how much of this is coupled with, and I'm not trying to take anything away from the play well and it has in New England, but that third DT here in Philly, you got a third rounder cooking. Now you got a 7th rounder cooking. And I know Jalen Carter might not have had a good year, but one thing that Jalen Carter is doing week in and week out is he's eating up blocks. So is Jordan Davis. So I think that third DT in Philly is having a big, is really being able to get, make some moves here in Philly because of obviously who's lined up next to him now. Weak edge rushers. Now imagine Myles Garrett. Ooh,
yeah, and that hurts probably Ajomo more.
Right. But I think Ajomo has been great, man. I think he's been great. I mean, that's a 7th round pick, guys. 3rd-year player.
That is a massive grand slam.
That's a home run.
That is such a great. By the way, the team. Who's number 2 in rush defense in the NFL? Patriots. I mean, Patriots number 2 in rush defense. I mean, they're a little suspect in the secondary right now, but boy, I'll tell you what, that's pretty impressive. I know. Look, he's not number of sacks.
Yeah, that's amazing, dude. Those are good, dude. 4 sacks. He's a DT. We're midway through the year, less than midway for this team. 8 games, 9 games to play.
Yeah,
that's pretty good. And again, I'm not even a sack guy. I think the total body of work is more important, but he's got good numbers right now too.
You put Garrett on that team with Ajomo.
Lights out.
Bro, someone asked me in Cleveland last night on a text message. They go, "What if do you believe the Garrett conversation's real?" I go, "Oh, I believe it 100%." Do I believe the execution of the deal? I go, and then you start talking about poor ownership. Right. This comes down to bad decision makers. This comes down, like you said, Zander, if I owned a business and I, over the next 3 years, could cut my losses, and we've done this, cut the losses, get rid of the overhead.
Yeah.
Where am I going to be in 6 months? Where am I going to be? Am I going to have more assets? Yes. I'm going to be able to gather myself, be able to pace myself, get 7 first-rounders, help my guys be able to make proper decisions when it comes to getting personnel. I don't think Kevin Stefanski's a bad coach. I think he's in a bad situation.
I don't think he's a great coach.
Well, how can you be a great coach in Cleveland? He has gone to the playoffs.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, I don't think he's been bad. I'm just,
I think he's won Coach of the Year twice.
Yeah, which sometimes to me is, well, it's because they had 2 winning seasons above 500. And anytime you get above 500 in Cleveland, it's like the Super Bowl ring. Parade them, everybody. By the way, I got to rip John. I mean, John this works talking like Cleveland's a quarterback away. I'm like, oh yeah, they've been saying that for 30 fucking years since Bertie Kosar, who you had on this show. I mean, that team is not a quarterback away. And by the way, wake me up when they find that said quarterback. All right, because it's never worked once, and now all of a sudden it's going to work. No way.
Well, you're not sold on Deshaun Watson.
No, and Dylan Gabriel's a stiff. They should have made a store at this point. I mean, what are they doing with that Gabriel kid? Again, though, another bad decision by that front office.
That's right. That's
a third and a fifth. Two quarterbacks.
That's my point, though, that I'm trying to make with people. You can't think logical when you're talking about the Browns. So when people go, they're not moving them. Dude, they moved Baker out of the room and paid a stiff.
I'm telling you, and I think people are way off on this Andrew Berry guy, John included. John's talking to me like, oh, he worked for Howie. He's not going to make bad moves like that. I'm like, dude, he's been a stiff. Well, what has he done for Cleveland? What has Andrew Berry done for Cleveland?
Okay. So
I mean, seriously, Myles Garrett was there when Andrew Berry showed up. He just happened
to Dorsey drafted him.
Yeah, he just happened to show up with the greatest defensive player of our generation. Yo, is Myles Garrett better than Aaron Donald? I think he is.
I never thought of that.
I think they're the two greatest defensive football players of the 21st century, probably. Is that fair?
I don't know where Ed is in that. Ed Reed's in that.
Yeah, Ed Reed's definitely in that. I know it's all different positions. It's tough to compare them.
Garrett's better against the run, dude.
Dude, he's the best. He's the best edge right now against the run in football, and the best pass rusher in football. The guys, I just saw somebody saying, Killa, I think it was you. He's gonna have to learn the playbook. I'm like, my guy, Killa, I love you, brother. Myles Garrett is not a kind of guy that comes in and he needs a week to learn the playbook. That's a guy who puts his hands in the dirt and absolutely obliterates anybody on the other side of it.
No, you say this to him. What do you want to run?
Yeah, what do you want to run? Myles, go over there, brother. Come on, man. This isn't Jalix Hunt we're talking about or Nolan Smith. This is Myles Garrett.
Who do you think has a better second half? AJ, Ertz, or Barkley?
Barkley 1, Hurts 2, AJ 3. Barkley just because he's had the lowest first half.
Okay.
Jalen 2 because he's on pace for a hell of a season right now. Don't look right now, but he's on pace for his best season ever as a quarterback, passing wise. You know, he's on pace for almost 4,000 yards, 3,600. He's on pace for 30-plus touchdowns. And he's only got one pick through 8 games.
But if Barkley's numbers go up, his will come down. Like they did a year ago.
Yeah, that's fair. But you can still have really –
efficiency may go up, though.
Yeah, I mean, look at last week, right? I mean, he only threw for, 150, but he had 4 tutties. I mean, he was like 17 or whatever in that game, 15 to 20, I think he was in the game. So I think Jalen continues to have a really good year. He does look focused as shit to me this year, man. He really does. He's locked in. AJ, I just you know, I don't know. I love AJ Brown. I'm a big fan of him as a player, and I understand the competitive nature. I feel like more than some are willing to understand, but I just don't know if this is the offense for him. You know what I mean? Like ever since Barkley came here, like this team it's okay. It's just kind of what the offense is, though. They're not really that offense that if you listen to the way AJ speaks, he wants to dominate like a receiver in a traditional pass offense does. And I don't know if that's coming. Now, the one caveat I will give is if they do stick to this play action thing they ran the last couple of weeks, and they start to live in that zone a little bit more, then I think A.J. Brown is going to have a chance to have the best season of the 3. Or best second half of the 3. But that's again, I still think what you always say. I got to see a little bit more of that before they're going to do that week in and week out.
All right. Here's one for you, too. Has Kevin Patullo dropped the Bobo? Or are you still in Bobo status right now with him?
I'll go Bo. Instead of Bo, he's just Bo. So he's Bo Patullo for now.
I'll go fucking Bo.
Not to be confused with Bo Nix. Bo Patullo is who it is. But no, I don't think he's there yet. I do think I do think we were probably real hard on him early, and I understand why. I mean, some of the stuff felt so basic to do, and then he started doing it and it started working. And it's like, dude, you got all these playmakers. This is basic football we're talking about here. It's not like, you had to reinvent yourself in the Sean McVay offense or something. But I think he's finding himself as a play caller. I mean, it's a new thing, like this is why you were ripping the hiring in the summer a little bit. This is a new thing for him, man. Even if he becomes the greatest offensive coordinator ever one day, which I do not believe he will. But even if he did, he would have to go through a learning process at the beginning. And he's going through that. I think he's showing some signs. I think the most optimistic way to look at Kevin Petula right now is the red zone success. I mean, he did it backwards in a way. Most other coordinators can figure out how to go pick up a first down. They struggle when they get in the red zone. That's when the field gets smaller. Defensive coverage has changed back there. You start to see different looks. He's been great in the red zone. So I think that's a big credit to him. I think that's also a bigger credit to Jalen Hurts because of his playmaking ability. But I think he's finding himself. I think he's finding himself a little bit, but not quite free from the Bobo land yet.
How about this? Don't you think, especially with – now, I think it's easier for Andy Reid to be a play caller when you have one central target to go to for Mahomes. When you're a brand new play caller, don't you think it's harder to get multiple stars involved to try to be able to feed everybody?
Yeah.
That's quite, don't you? I mean, think about it, Zander. If you have one dude like in the Jordan offense that takes all the shots, you're not really thinking about getting everybody else involved, are you? You're getting Jordan, right. And you have to worry about playing defense on the other side.
Especially in this offense, too, right? I mean, right. If you have a distributor, it's a little easier. Yeah. Jalen, let's be real. There's only so many plays in a football game, and Jalen takes some of those plays because he's a playmaker. You know what I mean? He's not like Tom Brady never took any of the plays. He was a passer. So if you're throwing the ball 35 times a game, you can get 10 here, 10 here, 8 here, 8 here, and 5 here. Jalen throws the ball 25 times. He takes about 5 to 10 plays typically himself, with the run game and some of that stuff. And then you have obviously a high-powered back, a high-volume back in Saquon. So just not that many. There's only so many plays to run in a game.
Here's where I'm going. Kevin Petula has a harder job than Vic.
Oh, yeah. Well,
you got to get all those. Hey,
Vic like pick your hard, right?
Defensive scheme.
It's like pick your hard, though, What's a better problem? Having to lose 5 starters and make garbage to go and turn garbage to gold, or quiet, AJ Brown from running his mouth because you got too many good playmakers.
Well, who's
had that problem?
Well, who's had a harder job of it?
Kevin, but Vic's got all the experience.
Oh, that's why you don't hire a first-year fuck when you got all those issues like that on that side of the ball.
I agree. But hey, I mean, I was high on parade fumes in the summer. I didn't think it was a bad move. Looks like I was wrong.
No. I think the run game shocked people, and it hurt his development as an offensive coordinator. You think he's getting better, though?
I do. I think you've seen clear improvement. I mean, I think the other thing they got to factor in, like Jalen's having his best, one of his best seasons right now. Does the coordinator have anything to do with that?
Yes.
So, I mean, look, I think there's a lot of context here. But we'll see. We'll see what he can do in the second half of the year.
I'm going to show you something on Green Bay. Tell me if you're buying this on Green Bay here. By the way, bottom of the hour, legendary Mike North will be with us. We'll get to the Supers here in a second. I want you to tell me if you think Green Bay is overrated or underrated here after I give you this.
Okay.
They're number 7 in total offense. They're number 7 in passing. They're 16th in the run game. They're 5th in scoring. They're 7th in red zone. They're 3rd in third down. Defensively, they're ranked 6th. They've got to have one of the greatest balanced teams in the league right now because they're 7th in total offense. They're 6th in total defense. They're 15th in pass defense. They're 3rd against the run now. That's incredible. They're 10th in scoring defense. Here's something here that's kind of a shocker. They're 22nd in red zone. That's going to be a factor Monday night. The number 1 red zone offense versus a shitty red zone Packer defense in red zone. but they're fourth in third downs. It means they get off the field. So overrated, underrated.
I think they're fairly rated. I think they're a contender.
Stand.
They're a contender, but I mean, until they do it in the playoffs, they're going to have to prove more. You know, I mean, remember the Eagles have certified themselves in playoff land, like the Chiefs have. You know, maybe not to that level yet, but they've at least
they have. They have in my eyes.
Have, right. So, you know, the Packers are great right now. The Packers they got a lot of talent on their roster. There's no doubt. Speaking of great edge rushers, look at what Michael Parsons did for that defense. They're playing at a whole new level right now. I am Myles Garrett. I am everybody who wants to keep their first-round picks. But I got to see it a little bit more.
Dude, that Rashawn Gary on the other side is no shit either, man. He's a pretty good-looking ball player, too.
He's a great ball player. But I just there's something about Jordan Love where, like, I don't know what it is. Sometimes it's just the eye test for me. And it's not even like he looks bad. It's just I just feel like he can turn to a pumpkin at any time. I really do. So we'll see. I think they're a good team, man. I think it's going to be a good battle next Monday night.
What do you think is going to be the biggest matchup issue?
You know, I don't really think we have too many matchup issues in this game, actually. I mean, they have decent secondary, but nothing great there. So you could probably pick on that a little bit. For our issues, though, you're probably looking, it's actually not wide receiver 1 or 2. It's more 3 and 4 because they got like 4 or 5 wideouts who can catch the football. And you got after Quinion and Coop, and they got Tucker Kraft. So they got a lot of players over there.
I think him coming across the middle of the field is going to be something to keep an eye on in this game against your safeties.
Well, and the other thing is you could see some Jahad Campbell out there because he's actually a pretty good matchup for Tucker.
I'm going to start Campbell in that game over Dean.
Yeah. Because of Kraft?
Because of Kraft.
Boy, if they get Kraft on Reed Blankenship, good night.
Or even Makuba.
Yeah, Makuba too. But either one. If they get either one of those safeties lined up on
I might even start Cooper DeJean at safety in that one there. Put him.
Nah, I'm not going to do that.
Bro, because
remember, they got Josh Jacobs. Dude.
The biggest threats are going to be running in there with Jacobs and catching the ball with Jacobs. And, dude, this kid Kraft.
Kraft the best tight end in football right now.
Boy, you know what? Let me take a look at his numbers here. I saw him the other night. I could not believe what I was. Get this. He's on pace for 1,200 yards receiving and 15 touchdowns. How many catches? 100. Dude, he's his number 1 target.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy stats, right?
That's a tie net, like you said. Is he the best? I'll tell you what, last night, Andrews looked pretty fucking good last night with Lamar. And albeit it was the shitty Miami Dolphins who have surrendered.
Yeah, I caught some of that game. I was watching there's a new Allen Iverson documentary on Amazon.
Yes, I got to watch it. How is it?
I didn't finish it. I just watched the first episode, but it was good. I can't wait to watch the rest of it. I'm going to watch the rest of it. So
he's my favorite Philly athlete of all time.
That makes sense. Just the story, everything about him is just an awesome story. I think he was actually in Philly last night for some event. I forget what it was, but I love AI. So I was watching that. One of those game shows where I didn't lock in as much as I normally do on the football. I just kind of had it on. What's on tonight? I know the World Series, but I know that. I'm watching that. But Sixers are on tonight. I'm watching the Sixers.
They've you know what, man? I got to tell you, man, I'm sorry to tell you this. Listen here. Once again, you're being poisoned.
No, I'm not. I'm not. I'm not. I'll tell you why I'm not.
So you're buying it.
I'm buying it. There's also some sentimental reason to me. I grew up a Sixer fan. That was my number 1 team. So I was growing up. When I was a kid,
Daryl Morey.
When I was a kid and came down on Christmas morning, I didn't have Eagle merch under the tree. I had Sixer merch. I was a Sixer guy. I loved the Sixers growing up. So
did I.
I'm happy to get back into the fandom. So maybe that has slanted me a little bit. But the NBA is a guard league. And when the Eagles drafted Joel Embiid and built around him, albeit as talented as he is, it was always an unconventional different way to do things. Now, I know Jokic has come along and the game has changed a little bit, but even with those players, this is a guard-driven league. It's a guard league, the NBA. And for the longest time,
three-pointers.
They were selling me our point guard was a guy who was afraid to shoot. I mean, think about that. So, like, you build this identity around a team, that you build this fandom around a team, and it's just like when it doesn't work, it almost burns you out. Where we had these no guards, and then they draft Tyrese Maxey a couple years ago, and I remember watching his rookie year, and I was all high on him, but I always thought he was going to be swept under the rug because of Joel Embiid. And then they draft this Edgecombe kid. They come into the year this year. They got these two old farts on the team, Joel Embiid and Paul George. When they go, I think this team is really going to be able to compete for a championship because I think Tyrese Maxey's become a superstar. VJ Edgecombe is the most athletic player in the draft by every metric. He's leading the rookies in all categories. And you got this backcourt now that's fun again. You have a fun backcourt that's capable of winning in the modern NBA. Are they there yet? I don't think they're there yet. But the East is wide open. The Sixers are playing with energy. 10, 9, 8.
Hey.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Oh,
Bills!
Hey, you're buying a guy shooting 37 points a game. Anyway, I can't believe, dude, you're telling me Maxey's averaging 37 points a game right now?
Maxey, yeah, he's cooking, dude. I can't. Dude, Maxey he's not a star. He is a superstar. Mark my word. That kid is a fucking stud. And VJ Edgecombe is a player, too. VJ Edgecombe is a player. Pumper can say all he wants because he wanted Ace Baylor.
23.
Game is on Amazon Prime tonight, Pat, I think. It's an Amazon Prime game.
Yeah. 22 threes averaging right now, the rookie. You got two dudes at 17-8, and you got Embiid.
Yeah, he's leading all rookies in points per game, assists per game. He's got the most total assists and the most total points. They're all rookies.
Bro, how could the rookie have more rebounds per game than Embiid?
Embiid can't jump. Now you got this fun-ass team.
I'm going to start calling that guy Donut.
I'm happy because I really am not going into this Sixers season with expectations that they're going to go and win a championship. I don't think they're there yet. But what I am looking to do is I'm looking for the new era of the Sixers. You know, fold the process era, fold up the Joel Embiid era. Look, if he stays here as a role player, that's fine, whatever. I just need – my problem with Embiid right now is I think the team needs a traditional center. I need a pick and roll center who can get boards and protect the rim. And Joel Embiid doesn't really do that anymore. So it's like, does he fit when you got these fast young guards who are running all over the place? You know, that's why I like that Dembona kid, that backup center. You know, he was drafted in the second round last year. So I don't know, man. I'm feeling good about him. I don't really have crazy like.
The Celtics are limping out of the gate too. You know, the Celtics are limping out of the gate.
Turn it around. I mean, I think the Celtics are still a good team, but I do think the East is wide open. I mean,
how about the way the Bulls are playing?
Yeah, I haven't watched it. I haven't watched much of them to give an opinion on them, but they got a nice young roster. They got good guards too, and you know, they got some good players. So, you know,
don't go to sleep on Giannis in Milwaukee.
Nah, you can never go to sleep on Giannis, but who's he got with him this year?
Dude, they got nobody. They dumped everybody in the offseason.
I mean, so it's like you know, I think the Sixers are actually in a good spot. But I ordered my I give a bunch of Sixers merch, but I ordered a new hat with the old logo. So when I get that, I'm gonna rock that on the show next week. Sixers might be 5 or 6-0 at that point, baby.
Boy, man, I mean, AJ Green, Miles Turner, that's on the Bucks. Shit, they dumped everybody. You're right. Who knows? I mean, by the way, Morey had somebody else, right?
Yeah, I mean, Morey has not done a good job when it comes to the trades and the signings of the free agents. I don't think he's done well. But the drafting, I mean, you can't. They picked up Edgecombe 3. They picked up Tyrese Maxey at 21. They picked up this Bona kid in the second round. I mean, Quentin Grimes, I think they traded for Quentin Grimes, if I'm not mistaken last year. He wanted the contract. I mean, he's done some good things, Daryl. I mean, I've been hard on him, but I think he's done some good things. We got to get to some supers, dude. We got a $50 banger we didn't even read.
Yeah, we got to. Before we get to Mike North here, let's get to the supers here.
Look at this.
Ishmael.
$4 banger, baby. Let's go. Let's read this thing. He says, is it conceivable that a player selected in the 7th, 6th, or even late 9th round could be developed? 9th round doesn't exist anymore, but could be developed effectively with the appropriate coaching staff. In this context, draft picks can be viewed as dividends. Keep it going, Sills and Zander. I understand what you're saying, though. I understand.
Well, Tom Brady was a 6th rounder.
Moro Ojomo, who you just got done talking about, is a 7th round draft pick.
I mean,
Jason Kelsey was a 6th round draft pick. I mean, you know, a lot of our team, if you look across our team, they're not all 1st round draft picks.
Remember something, when you start paring down after the 15th pick every year in every NFL draft that has been known to mankind, it starts paring down to best player available. When you get down to best player available, that's when you start. The most successful round in pro football history is the 3rd round. And that's where you get value, and that's where you get most players landing in the right spot.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Let's go to Sean here. What's up? Ishmael, thank you, dude. $50.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
That. Here's Sean. Last day of the month, too, by the way, everybody. So get him in. We appreciate it. Sean says, if Myles Garrett was on the Eagles right now and to keep him for the next 3 years, we had to give up our 1st round draft pick each year, who the hell would not do that? I would give 4 in a second. Sean, I'm with you, dude. Team is
but remember something. There's incompetent franchises on the planet. Mike North knows one. It's the McCaskies and the Bears. And the other one is the Cleveland Browns and Jimmy Haslam.
Yeah.
You want to know how to run an organization into the toilet? God rest your soul, Virginia, but you stunk as an owner running the Bears. And right now, Jimmy Haslam stinks running the Cleveland Browns.
You know, what a legacy he has. Not very good. Not a very good owner in sports here. All right, let's rattle through some of these. We got a bunch of them. Appreciate everybody. Here's Dirty Dave. In most GM's defense sales, most GMs ain't going to be on the current team in 28. That's true. Brian Fleming says, everyone's got a price and everyone's got to pay. Very true. Dirty D says, some teams want Super Bowls and some teams want superstars. Well, Dirty D, you can have both. How about that in Philly? All right, because you got the Super Bowls and you got plenty of superstars. Come on in, Myles Garrett. The water is fine, my friend. Dirty D again. I'd give 3 1s and a 2 for Garrett. If Browns don't take it, you know why they continue to suck. So true.
True. They're going nowhere.
I would give the house for Myles Garrett right now. I just can't.
7 first-round picks the Browns can have in the next 3 years.
People keep telling me it's too many draft picks. And the only thing I can think about is Myles Garrett, Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis, Zach Bond, Cooper DeJean, and Quinyon Mitchell. That'd be the best defense in football. They would be your cornerback too. You wouldn't even know if Keely Ringo was on the field because the quarterback would be running like this away from Myles fucking Garrett. Come on, man. Here's Pumper. It sounds good. A bunch of tomfoolery around these JAKIB streets today. Vince McMahon status. No chance in hell we get Myles.
There you go. Corporate pump. There you go.
Pumper and TJ Twizzler. TJ Twizzler don't want us to get Myles. Here's Sean. If the Garrett trade goes down, I bet Tanner goes. I could see that.
Sure.
Right. JD3 says they have to be just fielding offers, driving the price up. Because if we've really offered 3 first, he should have been on a plane this morning.
That's right. That's right. They're getting closer to the trading deadline.
Remember, I think the biggest thing with that, JD, is it's not enough to make the owner butt in and say you have to take it. And it's not enough because Andrew Berry's probably thinking, I ain't going to make those picks because they're going to fire me anyway. Why am I going to trade away the Hall of Fame player? My legacy will then be defined as I traded away Myles Garrett and got fired. It's a bad look for him. He's protecting himself. Khaled says, Patriots haven't played jack shit. Weak schedule. Yeah, I think they get a little harder. Who do they play this week? I know the Colts played Steelers this week.
I don't know who they play here this week here.
We got to look at that.
Yeah, I'm not sure who they play here. Let me take a look at that. Who they play?
Eagles on a bye week.
I think New England plays. By the way, Mike North is coming up next year, folks.
They play the Falcons.
They play the Falcons. That'll be interesting. Okay.
Colts, Steelers, Bears of the Bengals. That's an easy one. Saints, Rams, Chiefs, Bills is a good one. Seahawks, Commanders are the Sunday night game. Another primetime game. Where are all the Commander fans that were here all summer? We got all these primetime games. You're 0 for fucking 3 in primetime, and you're about to be 0 for 4.
Hey, I got to tell you, Mike North had quite a take on LeBron James today. I can't wait to get to that.
All right, let me rattle the rest of these. I got like 4 more. David says, Zay, if we get Myles, I'll be extremely insufferable. Oh, it'll be a problem. Sills might cancel our daily segment.
Oh,
Says,
my God.
Browns owner, make the effing deal. I'm with you. Kyle says, Yahoo Sports is now reporting Eagles eyeing for potential trade for Jalen Phillips.
He thinks he's going to be traded. I texted him last night after the game.
Know, people just fired the GM. It's either going to be this. The owner's going to say fire sale, or he's not going to let the interim GM trade.
There's going to be a fire sale. He thinks by the way, Rosenhaus represents him too.
Yeah, but you're going to let an interim GM make trades with some of your assets? That's a bold move.
Stephen Ross.
Sill's not dressed up as Hurts today. I went on a rampage on Halloween earlier. If you don't have kids, and you're like, if you're dressing up with your kids, that's fine. But like these grown adults who put these costumes on and go to these goofy fucking parties, who are these people? I've never done this in my life. So weirdest thing in the world.
You should see the wildest, dude. You want to know the wildest thing? It's in Chicago. Anything that
happens over there, I don't know.
Okay, listen. They turned the water into green. And the Irish thing that they do there, it is wild. I've been there on like St. Patty's Day. Holy shit. What's that thing? Is it North Street? What is that down there where all the pizza places are? Where you go down there, man. And I've been down there, and I was down there with Mongo years ago. Face down, ass up. How you
Look, everyone's calling me Zander McMullen. I'm a curmudgeon now. Fuck Halloween. It's goofy. I've always thought that. As a kid, I got the pillowcase, loaded it up with candy, and went home. All right, so good show, brother. I will catch you later.
I will catch you again, Big Z. Thank you, brother. Great stuff as always.
Later, dude.
You got it. Zander Krause. Make sure you guys check him out on Birds 365. By the way, I can't wait. But first, I got to get his thoughts on the Eagles and what they've done in the first half of the season. Before we do that, put game plan B. Don't get your hopes up. I got it, Twiz. Hang in there. All right. So I want to get Mike North's thoughts on the Eagles' first half sitting at 6-2. Who's the biggest threat to Philadelphia to win the NFC? Without further ado, I saw him in a green shirt today, too. I did. And believe me, on St. Patty's Day, Mike North, I wonder how many times he's been. What's the name of that place? We're going to get to him here in a second. But, man, all the restaurants are down there. All the pizza places are down there. Is it like, it's not High Street. I forget what it is. So let's bring my friend in to educate me from my University of Miami days, the legendary Chicago man himself.